Good evening and welcome to Maisha Kazini Conversations, where we talk to people who are thinking about various aspects of life. Back due to popular demand is Dr. Mordecai Ogada, who is a conservation consultant and a carnivore ecologist. So we are going to pick up on some of the themes we discussed in the previous video, and then look at some of the things that are happening today that touch on also some of the things we talked about last week. So, Karibu Mordecai, we are here because we are just getting so upset and worried about what is happening in society.
Yes,
and
indeed.
We'll start even with what has been in the news and in public conversation about these children who, these teenagers who escaped and who went for a party, were found by the police and then were returned. And so there's this whole conversation about parenting and all those other things. So what is your sense of where the public conversation is going? Is that what we need to be talking about?
Yeah, the public, thank you. The public conversation is going in a very worrying direction, because you can see some people blaming the parents for certain failures, and you can see some people also blaming the government for keeping kids out of school. There's some people also saying that parents should give children, their kids, enough room and just provide for them. So it's very few people are talking about the human side of it. Like, what's the relationship with your child when your child can sort of wander off and disappear? And the initial report that I saw, the first one I saw on social media, was someone who was actually an aunt or a cousin. It wasn't actually a mother who was crying, like, help me find my niece or my cousin. It wasn't actually a parent. And that shocked me, because at first I thought, oh, the girl must be an orphan. But apparently there are parents somewhere. So the whole issue and our reaction to it points to a really catastrophic breakdown in something that we've all taken for granted, this family structure.
Yeah, and what should we really be talking about? Because for me, I'm just getting frustrated that we are not talking about the kind of world we are raising our children in, and our children have become material. They want parties, fashion, and fun. And I don't know, is this just a thing which only parents can address, or what is happening that is making children go in this direction?
I think it's okay. It's the children. It's sort of trickling down to parents and children, but it starts much higher up.
Yeah,
we are commodifying our society. Our self-worth and respect, even for other people, is increasingly attached to their material possessions, or their bank balance, or the amount of land they own. Yeah, we've increasingly attached respect, power, political power, or admiration to how much money or how much material possessions one has. And in the political sphere, no one worries whether you are a thief or you are a killer or whatever you are. If you're wealthy, people will support you and people will vote for you, and people think that you're right. We've seen people who have been engaged in all sorts of corruption. They easily get up on any of our media channels and tell people, like, you must invest, you must work hard, the young people must learn to save money, and all this. And it's ludicrous for especially those of us who know where a lot of this, the seed for this wealth came from. So I think that is trickling down, so that parents start engaging this materialism in their relationship with their kids. So to be a better parent, I'll buy my kid a better phone, take him to a more expensive, not necessarily better school, because schooling, there's a certain level at which it doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
It's like ugali. Ugali is well cooked and it's sold to you for maybe 100 shillings for a plate. If it's sold to you for 5,000 shillings, it's still just good ugali.
Yeah.
It's no better. Yeah. So, and more freedom, buy them a car, buy them better clothes, etc., etc., etc. And that's what parents now strive for. They don't strive to find time to spend with the kids. They strive to work hard to make money so they can buy more expensive, better phones, better computers, better clothes, etc. for their kids. And this is all fine if you can provide it, but it does not replace that human side. And that is what we are completely losing, because we are strangers in houses.
There's a risk of making it about that parent didn't raise their children properly. So since mine is in the house, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do we avoid going into that narrative? Because that's what is happening. People are saying that it's those parents. It's not me. My kid is in the house. So how is this a problem for all of us?
Yeah, it's a problem for all of us because we are losing sight of our humanity, and because that, and we are increasingly applying these engineering solutions to human problems. His child is likely in the house because he has padlocked the door and the keys in his pocket. The child physically cannot get out of the house. The child can only leave the house when the father goes and opens the padlock and lets him out or lets her out. So you don't call yourself a good parent because of that. You are an engineer. You are an engineer, and those parents who you are berating were just sort of lesser engineers than you are. What? So they're not necessarily poor parents, but we are increasingly applying engineering solutions so that we lose the humanity. So when my child has a problem or a challenge or a question, he or she cannot come and ask me. Like, people are told they're being recruited for some job. A 16, 17-year-old, the first thing, when I was that age, I'd imagine I would be running to my parents to tell them excitedly, like, look, I've got a job offer, this great thing, yeah. Or there's this job offer, I'm not sure about it. Either way, I'd tell them, whether it's out of joy or out of questioning, but I'd tell them. But now that's gone. That's gone, and some of them are actually content with that.
And in fact, that's such a good point, because I was also thinking of even the way we want the police to be taking charge of our children. It's an engineering aspect, because instead of, or we say, oh, the teachers should beat the children, we are not looking at molding and the process of molding children, correcting them. They make mistakes, you come back.
Yes.
They're thinking that what is needed is force, either force from the police or force from the parents.
Yeah. And sadly, actually, these children were rescued, if you can call it rescued, because apparently they went of their own accord. But it was the police that did it. None of them came home. None of them got called and got told, so and so, can you come home? We need you at home. They were brought home by police. And this engineering is bleeding throughout our society, such that from the very, as I said, from the very tops, if you look at the 2020-2021 national budget, the biggest allocation is to police or security organs. Biggest. And it was remember, this was June, so it's like the COVID budget. COVID is the issue on the table. And we gave the biggest chunk of money to police, not to healthcare, not to education, to put safety things in schools, but to police. And that shows where we are going as a society. So now the police are beating people to prevent COVID. Police are retrieving truant children. And what more? How much do we expect these police to do? And what will remain as our responsibility as people? Because we are just becoming sort of material commodities, machines, to be engineered in one way or another.
And in fact, actually, even people are saying, I'm putting the mask for the police. because the police is how we are relating to our own health. And then I also remembered, you know, that time of the Ambira Boys saga.
Yes.
Me, I was saying this is a really simple problem. If you have boys who are celebrating the end of Form 4, you give them another way to celebrate other than start sending threats until you will not get a certificate of good conduct. That's what they were being told. So
your results will be cancelled.
We have let the police take over our work, either as parents, as professionals, as the police are engineering. It's an engineering, what do you call engineering?
The police
approach.
are the tool. The police are the spanner which is used to now engineer our society from every single point. And it's true, like with the masks and stuff. If you find someone without a mask, the worst thing you can do is arrest him and take him into a cell crowded with other people. If COVID is the issue, a cell is the one place you shouldn't take someone. The police probably should be out there with packets of masks and give them out to people if they see someone without a mask, or tell someone to put on their mask. But we think we can enforce everything. Even in my field, the conservation, we think we can fence. Fencing is a solution. I always say we are remarkably myopic when we laugh at the outgoing US president when he was saying he'll build a fence between US and Mexico. Yet right now, there's a fence being built around Mount Kenya. Right now, there are fences being built around Kakamega Forest. And these are supervised, approved by people with PhDs and well-funded by well-educated people. Funding approved by well-educated people. So we are absolutely no different. We are trying to engineer the environment now.
Even
yet
education.
These fences are in the way. Education, look at that.
Even education, because I remember my frustration with these rules that we were being given, that you must publish in a certain journal. And if you don't, there's going to be a stick, whatever. And so what that did was it gave people incentive to publish in very shady journals, just for the sake of meeting the rules, because there was a stick with which to beat people.
And it's not about what you publish, it's about the number of papers you publish. And believe you me, there is such a thing as a completely useless paper. The academics have started fragmenting a PhD. A PhD is a project around a central idea and a central thesis and hypothesis. If you fragment that central idea into 10 papers, none of those papers on its own has any meaning for anybody. But you've got 10 papers, so you'll get your promotion, or you'll meet your performance contract targets, or whatever it is. And that's like a rope the academy has put around its neck. It's about the numbers of what you publish, not quality of what you publish or relevance of it, but the numbers and in which papers. That's why even some of our universities the academics have started creating fake publications amongst themselves. They publish, they submit and edit and publish within their little circle there.
Hey, this is a complete dehumanization. You know, last week we were talking about cowardice, but hey, it's a complete dehumanization. We have no sense of what it means to be human, to have dignity. We can't even name it. We can't even name it.
Yes, we can't do that because everything is attached to material worth. Like we were saying earlier on, even human relationships, even in the home, even interpersonal relationships, gender relationships. Whenever, and this is a common occurrence in Kenya, there's a lot of domestic violence in this country. Follow the discussions that ensue after any such incident. It will always come up like, how can this man do that to this woman? And he's a guy who has nothing. He's this poor man. He's nothing. Why should he treat her like that? The fact that he has or doesn't have money has nothing to do with the immorality of what he's done. But it also shows that the people in our courts over domestic violence are never the wealthy. Because it's okay because you're wealthy. It's okay because you are abusive in a mansion, or you are abusive while driving a Range Rover or whatever. So that makes it okay. And we have taught our girls that that's your worth. If he treats you terribly, but he has bought you diamond jewelry and this kind of thing, that's okay. But he should not dare talk badly to you if he hasn't paid your rent.
Hey, you know, there was a time I was trying to tell my students that you should not be accepting these material offers from people, because you think you're offering nothing, but you're actually giving them your innocence. And that's what they want. They want your innocence and they want your soul because it makes them feel human again. But because it's not material, you think you're offering nothing. Yeah. But you're actually offering everything, and they're giving you coins. Because
and what you're offering is priceless.
Yeah, what you're offering is priceless, but what they're giving you is what? 10K, 100K? It can't even cover. What you're giving cannot be sold. But people have put a price on their innocence, their soul. But I think you were also mentioning that about your parting shot last time, about, you know, the new deal or something like that.
Yes. Yes, the New Deal for nature and the neoliberal approach towards conservation. And now I'll speak to members of my profession that there are a whole majority of conservationists, African conservationists, Kenyan conservationists, who are currently, as we speak, attending very well-funded courses on evaluation of nature, learning how to put a dollar amount on your nearby forest, learning to calculate dollar value of Kakamega forest or Mount Kenya forest. And they're here. They're very proudly crowing about that spurious achievement. And the only reason someone's sponsoring you to that course is because he wants to train you to value that thing, because he wants to mobilize the resources to come and buy it and kick you out of there. And I asked them, why don't you ever attend any course that teaches us how to value the dollar value of our children? Why not?
Well, simply now we know the kids have a dollar value. We've just seen it this weekend.
We started attaching value to them. But yeah, they say, no, I'm not going to ever sell my kids. So why are you valuing Mount Kenya forest? Because the fact is, the world now, that the amount you're coming up with, there are people in the world who have that money or can mobilize that money. And what do you attach to culture? There's a friend of mine who just said that culture is a sort of shield against so many illnesses. Once you abandon that, you're just open to anything. You'll come up. I mean, I have seen in literature a few years ago that someone did value Mount Kenya forest at, back then it was around $8 billion. And I was appalled. I said, I know people who can, if Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates comes with a check, are you gonna take the check and get out of there? So that dollar amount is useless, it's spurious, and it's rubbish, really. But we in Kenya have gotten so attached. Even as we talk of government projects, we don't say a 200-bed hospital has been built. We say a 5 billion hospital has been built. We want to know the capacity. We want to know how many doctors. We don't want to know what was spent on it, more so because we know a lot of that is kickbacks. We say a 5 billion road has been built. No, tell us a 50-kilometer road has been built. That's meaningless. That's a meaningful figure. That's a meaningful figure in terms of a road. We want to know how long the road is. And we keep going over and over that. We are touching these shilling or dollar amounts to things to make them seem great. That's why we are obsessed with big things, physically big things, not intrinsic value of anything.
And then, you know, now that you're saying that, it becomes clear to me, what do our youth have to sell? Themselves. They don't have property. They have their souls, they have their innocence, they have their bodies. So that's what they will sell.
Yes, and it's terrifying now. There's a friend of mine who told me that her daughter is looking for an internship opportunity. And in my right mind, I'm sorry to say, in Kenya today, I do not have the courage to recommend or refer any young girl anywhere for internship. I'm sorry. I've seen what they go through. I've seen what they go through. You're even told that, I think you are very good at this. You have a good chance of getting a job. We know the unemployment situation now, but you'll have to comply with certain demands. It's the norm. This is not the exception anymore. It's the norm.
So why are we getting shocked? Yeah. Why are we getting shocked?
I know it's hypocrisy. We are a very dishonest society. The outrage is probably the most annoying thing, because it's pretense that we have morals, yet we lost that compass a long time.
Yeah, it's a pretense. It's a pretense.
It's a pretense that we have morals. Yet we lost that a long time ago. Right now, it's about money. So and so is doing this shady thing. He's trading drugs, or he's doing some corruption, but if he's making money, it's okay. If he's making money, then out of that money, he'll even have some to spare to go and give as sadaka. He'll have some to spare to go and sponsor some kids to school. You can shoot someone, then the next day you are teaching online classes, and it's okay. You're a wonderful, bright teacher.
Hey, anyway, it's almost like saying you have no past. Everything is the present, the present, the present.
Yes, the here and now.
The here and now.